Louisiana. I'm from Louisiana. Bitch, I'm from Louisiana. I'm from Louisiana. Bitch, I'm from Louisiana. I'm from Louisiana. Bitch, I'm from Louisiana. We call it that boat. Bitch, I'm from Louisiana. I'm from Louisiana.
$1 million fam shit,
nigga. I'm from Louisiana. Bitch, I'm from Louisiana. I'm from Louisiana. Bitch, I'm from Louisiana. We call it that boat. Bitch, I'm from Louisiana. I'm from Louisiana. Bitch, I'm from Louisiana. I'm from Louisiana. Bitch, I'm from Louisiana. I'm from Louisiana. Bitch, I'm from Louisiana. We call it that boat.
And how's it going, folks? My name is Sean Militello. Welcome to Off the Dome Sports. I'm joined with my co-host, Mr. Ryan Nofaro. And you're probably wondering where Mr. Michael Balko is. I don't know, man. He went MIA.
He flaked. And it's kind of frustrating, you know. I picked a hell of a day to join Twitter. But, man, the drama between him and all Saints fans, Canal Street Chronicles, it was just absolutely insane today. And, look, he released something that's controversial to pretty much everyone in the city of New Orleans. I think throughout the day I only saw like 2 people who supported him.
Yeah, I mean, he shared that one guy's comment that supported him, and if y'all don't know who Michael Balko is, I had him on the show a couple times. He's honestly, you know, somewhat of a cool dude. He works for WhoDatDish.com. He posts out some articles, and today he whistly put out an article, 3 reasons why Sean Payton could potentially be on the hot seat, and you know, it really threw some people off, you know, and honestly, it was a little bit of a clickbait type article, and he had some points in there, but it's like, you know, let's get you back on the show, you know, see what you're really talking about and give that explanation. But look at him now; he's now nowhere to be found. I don't know what's up. He didn't text me or anything to tell me that he wasn't coming on or he wasn't feeling like coming on. He just went MIA, and I mean, I think that pretty much explains it all. You know, he just.
Yeah, he didn't really have too much justification, and you know, and the 2 people that agreed with him, they didn't even give like solid points. I mean, there are probably still people that are pissed off that the Saints went 7-9 for 3 years in a row, or they're pissed off because we couldn't finish the deal with the Rams a couple years ago. I don't truly believe anyone hates Sean Payton. If you do, you just don't know football. I mean, the dude's been in New Orleans forever for a reason, and that's because he came here, changed the style of the team, changed the style of the city, and made us into a winner. And I think good coach, bad coach, who knows? But obviously his defensive coordinators haven't been the best.
Yeah, I mean, what I was going to tell Michael, and you know, I can see where he's coming from, and I think he's a little early on this article. I think he should have waited out to the later in the season, and let's say we started sucking. He could totally posted that, and it would have made more sense. But we're still early in the season. We're 3-2. now we're technically second in the division because Tampa Bay played one more game than us, but technically we're still first in the division. So I mean, that article was uncalled for in my opinion, but I do see where he was trying to come from. But nonetheless, it was a clickbait article. That's what it is. The title was very, disrespectful in my opinion. I don't think Sean Payton is on the hot seat. I don't think he's ever will be on the hot seat, no matter what circumstances happens with him and the Saints. Sean Payton has more control of this organization than most coaches do of their own. He's sort of the Belichick of the Saints. He basically runs the Saints. He does more than coaching. He has so many tie-ins. If you're getting rid of Sean Payton, you're getting rid of Mickey Loomis. You're getting rid of the entire staff who works for the Saints. And that's going to come from an ownership decision. And that would never happen under Gail Benson as long as she's alive and the owner of the Saints. So he would never be fired. I'll be honest with you. Until he steps down, he will forever be the Saints head coach. I mean, I do agree with Balko with one of his points that his coaching style and play calling has been, not that great this year. You say, well, we've been scoring enough points, we got 3 wins. But I mean, honestly, man, his coaching style and playing calling has held us back to a certain degree. A defense hasn't been up to par. He's never had a great defense his entire tenure in New Orleans. I think we only had a top 10 defense twice or 3 times. But nonetheless, he's still a great coach. He's one of the best coaches in the league. And it makes no sense why he would be on the hot seat.
Yeah, I mean, we all know Sean Payton's not a defensive coach in the first place. So, if we're begging the defense to be better because of Sean Payton, then look, we're sadly mistaken. He's always had to have a defensive coordinator that knew what they were doing to have a successful defense. I mean, look how many defensive coordinators the Saints have gone through. I mean, in between Greg Williams, Rob Ryan, and some other bum names, I mean, the defense has always not been Sean's forte, to say the least. But personally, like he's a Saint for life. I mean, he's going to retire. Once he retires, he's going to be instantly inducted into the Saints Hall of Fame, kind of like Drew Brees. But them two saved the city, in a sense. So why would we get rid? I don't even. Why did this article come out? We're 3-2.
Yeah.
I know we're in here in a bye week, and maybe he just ran out of stuff to think about. I mean, look, we're sitting here in the middle of a bye week at 3-2, and we're talking about potentially Sean Payton's on the hot seat. That makes no sense in the world. I don't know. I saw it this morning, and I was just like, what is he coming out with? I was like, why? But, I mean... He's just been getting ripped. I've seen comments on Facebook telling him this is a horseshit article. I mean, he's been getting ripped by everyone except for his 2 people that are still pissed off at Sean Payton over the 7-9 seasons. But, in a sense, if his worst season is 7-9, I mean, and he had atrocious defenses during that time, then we should be happy. Because, I mean, it wasn't his fault. The offense was fantastic. Drew Brees throwing for 5,000 every year. So, I mean, with us going 7-9 being his worst record, I mean, I know there's a ton of NFL head coaches who would love that.
Yeah, and I certainly agree. And then BM Furlow is back with us again. He said Mike Thomas getting traded. I highly doubt it. If he does, it would have to be a very losing season where we would have to go 3-13 for the rest of the year, and then we'll probably, just trade everybody off for draft picks. But no, he's not getting traded. He's here for the long haul.
If anyone gets traded, it's Malcolm Jenkins. So,
well, I tell you what, if anybody's getting traded,
Davenport.
I hate to say it, Cam Jordan. If anybody's getting traded, it might be Cam Jordan because he's had a subpar season. He's hard. It's been hard for him to get a groove going. Trey Hendrickson's been outplaying him. Hell, even Marcus Davenport, the one game he played this past week, he outplayed him. So I mean, he's getting old. He might be a trade candidate after this year. I hope I'm wrong. Cam Jordan's one of my favorite players on the team, but I mean, he's just having that type of season where we might have to move on from him.
Yeah, that was another point Balco made about Sean Payton's drafting. I honestly, like, I know there's people still upset over the Davenport trade, but even if how bad that trade was, Davenport's actually had better seasons in his first two seasons than Cam Jordan had in his first two seasons. They're playing two completely different positions. So why are we complaining so much about his drafting? I mean, he drafted that great draft class. I personally think this draft class he just got, outside of the stupid Tommy Stevens deal that he was trying to be petty with, I mean, I thought it was another good draft class. And
I honestly had no problem with us trading for Davenport that year because all we gave up was a current first round pick, which was a late round pick, and we gave up a first round pick, future first round pick that was going to be basically a second round pick that year too. So you're really giving up one future first round pick that was late anyway. So it really didn't matter. We needed a pass rusher. We needed another guy outside of Cam Jordan. And Davenport was the guy. Sorry he's been hurt, but it's obviously Davenport has the potential. He's shown some flashes. He's going to be a good player. He just needs to stay healthy, man. It's the Saints' fault that we can't keep guys healthy. We have one of the worst rehab rehabilitation in the NFL.
well, it depends who you talk to. There's some people that think we have a great rehab staff.
Well,
I
go ask
mean,
Dalvin Bro and see what he thinks about that. you
but I
know,
mean, look, personally, Saints fans get spoiled because they see Demario Davis playing every game, Cam Jordan playing every game. So then when we don't see Davenport play his annual 3 games a year that he misses, everybody freaks out. Well, 3 games a year isn't that bad. He's still playing over half the season, 3 quarters of the season. So we shouldn't complain about Davenport missing 3 games. But still, I mean, Balco's point right there, I personally wasn't a fan. You know, Heck, we drafted Mike Thomas, the best receiver in the league. We drafted Cam Jordan under him. We had that full draft class of 2016, the full draft class of
exactly.
2006. I
In
mean,
2016, we had Rankins, Thomas, Von Bell, which was very productive for us, even though he's not on the team anymore, and David Animata. I mean, that was a good class, and you go back to 2017, you had Lattimore, Ramczyk, Williams, Kamara, Anzalone, Hendrickson. Then you even had a guy you drafted, even though he's not on a team. He starts for the Indianapolis Colts, Al-Kulina Muhammad. I don't know how to pronounce his name. It's a weird name.
yep.
But he starts defense end for the Colts. Then you look at past 2017. You draft Caesar Release, which he's looking like a bona fide starter right now. He's been playing good. Eric McCoy is one of the best centers in the league. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson's fixing to take over for Marcus Williams' trash ass. And Caden Ellis. I mean, Caden Ellis is what, a 6-7 round pick. He's been, okay. And then you got Davenport, which he's shown star potential, just hasn't been able to stay healthy. It is what it is. How the Saints draft is more based off of potential because 9 out of 10 times we have a team where most rookies are not going to make the team. That's why a lot of draft classes we have, it comes out with questionable picks. It's like, who the hell is this guy? But they like to draft based off of potential, and some players, have it and they don't. They rather draft based off of potential than needs. You know what I'm saying?
And the same thing with what's the word? Undrafted free agents.
Oh yeah,
Sean Payton's gone out there and grabbed some great undrafted free agents. I mean, now we're about to see Marcus Callaway come out of nowhere. Late round picks. I mean, Marcus Colston, the best wide receiver ever for the Saints.
Pierre Thomas was undrafted.
Yeah, I mean, there's
Chris Ivory, Kyrie Robinson.
Kyrie Robinson, man, that's a name. But man, last time I think I heard Kyrie Robinson, that might have been when we went to the Dome in like 2013. But shoot, but saying he's a bad drafter, that's just absolutely absurd. You know, you
I'm.
want to see a bad drafter? Go look at Dell Demps across the street. He was awful. You know, but Sean
He didn't even
Payton,
have
he's
draft
up.
picks. He
Sean
traded them
Payton,
all.
you know, I understand we only had 3 picks this year, but why did we need 7? There was no reason to need 7. 3 was more than enough because look, we have a plethora of tight ends right now because of Trotman. Zach Bond was obviously going to be a project. Cesar Ruiz was in there to start. The Saints really wanted. I think we really wanted Isaiah Simmons, but of course that didn't. That he got taken 1 pick before us, so that was kind of depressing. But
I think you think of Kenneth Murray.
yeah, probably. I don't know why I said Isaiah Simmons, but still, I mean, the only point I agreed with was Sean Payton's play calling. But outside of that, I mean, what's their complaint about Sean Payton?
I certainly agree. I absolutely agree. I mean, you go look up Bill Belichick. He's not the greatest drafter either, man. Look at all the success he's had. It's not all about drafting and free agents. We never had the opportunity to get big time free agents. Because we're such a small market. I think Demaris Davis has probably been our best free agent pickup in the last decade. But it's guys like Demaris Davis wasn't even a big name in that free agency class. We don't get big names here. It's hard to find, like, even when we got Jairus Byrd and he was supposed to be a big time pickup, he wasn't even a big name. So he was a guy signed based off of potential and what you seen his first 2-3 years with Buffalo, and same thing with Kobe Fleener. All these guys were potential young guys that we took a shot on. You're not going to see a big name guy what's a good example of a big time free agent that went to a different team?
I mean, you got me lost right there.
But you get what I'm trying to say. Like, you're not going to see a big time guy that's a free agent going to go to the Saints. You know what I'm saying?
Mean, in a sense, I mean, Jared Cook was a pretty good name and came to the Saints. I mean, he's not big time. He's not Travis Kelce, but look, I mean, he was at the time he was second tier. I mean, he made Jared Cook. I mean, was this Derek Carr look half decent, which this year Derek Carr's looking really good, but that was kind of a big name. But I mean, yeah, you're at a disadvantage just because you're not L.A., you're not New York. I mean,
right.
I feel like the NFL is more spread out anyway. The talent's all spread out anyway. We got our big name in Kamara. We got our big name in Drew. We got Michael Thomas. The NFL's more, grassroots built than rather like the NBA where everybody kind of jumps around. But so I wouldn't say not getting big free agents is an issue to say, because I mean, for the most part, everybody signs that extension, that first extension right off the bat. So,
and I mean, you go through most of the starters. Most of them we drafted. I'm pretty sure probably more than half the starters we have is guys we drafted. So I'm not too sure where he was talking about recent drafts and how we didn't do well. I mean, you look at the entire offensive line. Teron Armstead, we drafted. Even though Andrus Peat sucks, we drafted. He's still, he's still a Pro Bowler. Eric McCoy, we drafted. Cesar Ruiz, we drafted. Ramczyk, we drafted. I mean, come on, man. We got Kamara, we drafted. Michael Thomas, we drafted. I mean...
Yeah, I mean, Larry Warford at the time was kind of considered a big signing when we signed him. But, I mean, outside of that, I mean, heck, even on the defensive line, we haven't... it's just been pure grassroots. We drafted guys on the defensive line. We try to fill in gaps on the secondary, but it doesn't quite work out for us. So, but like you said, small market. It's going to be hard.
Yeah, and I agree. And honestly, I'm ready to move on from this article just because he did not join the show today. He kind of blew us off. I do not appreciate that. I mean, I might give him a little bit of a doubt, but honestly, like at this point, he totally blew us off. So I mean, that tells you all you need to know about what this article is nothing but clickbait. I'm sorry, Michael, if you're watching this. Come on, bro. You got to do better with that. If you didn't want to come on the show, just tell me, bro. Like, you could have just told me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would have been fine with it. I wouldn't have shit on you like I'm doing now. You know what I'm saying? Even if you, like, have something going on, you got to let me know, bro. This is a show, you know? You got to be professional. You work for Who Dat Dish, you know? You're a guy that's supposed to be professional. Tell people that you don't want to come on their show or not.
Yep. And it'd be interesting to see if he comes on. I mean, he said he had 4 shows lined up. I know he had one lined up tomorrow that I saw he shared on retweeted on Twitter earlier. So it's going. I'm ready to see it, and maybe we can tell Canal Street Chronicles that he flaked on us and see what Canal Street Chronicles says about it.
I probably will message him later. And honestly, if he doesn't message me by tonight, tomorrow I'm probably gonna unfollow him. This is it. I don't think he's allowed back on the show anymore.
Yeah.
I'd hate to be that petty, but it's just how it is. But let's get off this topic and let's just talk about the Panthers and Saints. Just Sunday at 12 o'clock, they're gonna play on Fox. We got some news that Kiko Alonso is finally off the PUP list. He is practicing. Ty Montgomery's off IR. He's practicing. Obviously, Mike Thomas is practicing. He's ready to go. Panthers have no Christian McCaffrey. He's going to be out for another week. Jenkins is a guy that probably won't play again, but he's questionable. So, I want to get your thoughts about this, Ryan. What do you think about Kiko Alonso coming back in this linebacker fold? Does it help us or what?
I think it does. And, Alonso, that was our big trade what was it, last year or the year before last? That was our big trade.
I think it was last year.
And so, I'm excited to see him come back, help Demario Davis. Maybe that'll help us a little bit in the pass coverage, Alonso usually does a little bit more pass coverage than Demario Davis. So, hopefully it gives another jolt to the defense, makes the defense play a little bit better, and, we need another guy who can make an open field tackle because I can assure you Marcus Williams isn't.
And I think it's going to be a lot better for the linebacker core. He's definitely a better pass coverage linebacker than Anzalone has been. So I think that's definitely going to give us a boost, give us another veteran that can play. And he was actually pretty well last year when he played for us. I was actually quite surprised. He like you said, he tackled a lot, did pretty well with tackling. So I'm ready to see what he's still got. I mean, obviously he was a candidate to be cut, but we kept him around for a reason. So let's see what he can do. So we got Ty Montgomery coming back. That'll probably make a difference on special teams. Probably going to help out in the return game.
Probably have to put Washington on the practice squad, huh?
Yeah, probably so. You got to put him back, and then you probably will see less Callaway. I'm not too sure if he has to go back or not.
Based on his performance last week, I wouldn't assume so.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see on that. I haven't read anything else on that. And then obviously Michael Thomas is coming back. I'm ready to see how this offense looks with Michael Thomas. What do you think about that?
If Michael Thomas plays like Michael Thomas played last year and runs good routes, it could be unstoppable.
The attack of Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara, man. I'm ready to see what it's got.
It's not just those two. I mean, last game you had Emmanuel Sanders come back.
Emmanuel Sanders. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Emmanuel Sanders coming out party. Callaway. I mean, look, Michael Thomas coming back is going to open up so many. It's almost going to make them unguardable. Because your third choice is going to be wide open because the defense doesn't have enough guys to guard efficiently. So
I agree, and this is the week to break them out. Go against Carolina. This is going to be a hard-fought game. I think it's going to be a very close game. So, I mean, like you just said, it's going to open up a whole bunch of wide receivers. I've been disappointed with the tight ends lately. Hopefully that opens up the tight ends, Jared Cook, Hill, and Trotman. I want to see more Trotman, man. I really want to, man. I don't know why they've been holding him back, you know?
Yeah, and I know I made the comment at the beginning of the season that, he's going to have to learn the game coming from an FCS school all the way up to NFL. So, he has like 2 receptions this year or something. But, I mean, the Saints were big on his versatility when they drafted him. The fact that he could block and run pretty well. I think that was the main reason they drafted him was because of that. So, if he's just blocking and does a good job blocking, let him be.
Yeah, I agree with that. We'll see what he's got. My thing is when we play the Panthers, are we going to be able to stop Robbie Anderson in the slot? And he's also a speedster guy that can burn you a lot. Can we stop DJ Moore? And can we stop Mike Davis, a backup running back that's been balling out ever since Christian McCaffrey has been gone? This is Teddy Bridgewater too, and you got Joe Brady. So they're going to look for us to have a big game against the Saints. So what's the keys to stopping them?
Yes, sir. I think what you have to do is get pressure on Teddy, and get guys in Teddy's face. Cam Jordan, it's time for you to show up. Davenport, all those guys up front. Malcolm Roach, Malcolm Brown, all of them up front. David Onyemata. You got to get pressure on them because your secondary isn't going to help you at all. Isn't going to be much help. I mean, we're down. You said Jackrabbit's out, right?
Yeah, he's not officially out yet, but I would think he's doubtful.
Lattimore, you're going to have to have a big game. Patrick Robinson, look, we've heard all about you during training camp. It's time for you to come show back up. So, but yeah, getting Alonzo back probably help a little bit. But I think the key for the defense is getting pressure on Teddy. Getting guys in his face. I think when we saw Teddy, he was very methodical, and if you can disrupt those methods, I think you can have a lot of success against the Panthers.
And yeah, I agree. Just get some pressure on Teddy. He's gonna be looking to have a big game against us and Joe Brady.
Joe Brady,
after
after what Sean Payton told him, I think he's gonna have it out for us.
This is not gonna be an easy game. I can tell you that.
But I don't think Carolina's going to be able to stop us more than twice. So it might come down to who has the ball last, basically.
What's your score prediction?
Shoot, man, we're talking. I wouldn't doubt if it's a 38-31 game.
Yeah?
I mean, I really wouldn't.
Yeah. I'm gonna go 31-28 Saints. We win by a field goal. Big nut sluts.
Shoot. Might be another game like you saw with Tennessee and Houston yesterday, man.
That was an awesome game. You watched that game?
I watched the tail end of it. I originally started watching the Bengals game, and then I switched over, and because I got sick of watching Joe Burrow just toss it up to A.J. Green a week after I decided to bench A.J. Green for the full season on fantasy. I was quite disgusted watching that crap.
Wait a minute, A.J. Green had a good game?
Yeah, he had 17 points yesterday.
Damn, man, I dropped him in one of my leagues, bro. That's messed up. That's really messed up.
Yeah, but and then the Colts ended up coming back on down. That ended up being another good game.
I seen that.
But yeah, I think it's going to be whoever has the ball last, and it's going to be high scoring. It's going to be fun to watch.
I certainly agree.
And also, there's talks about having the fans in the Superdome. So I read that today. The Saints, that they're in talks with the mayor. The Saints want 20,000 because I was reading today that 20,000 is the amount where they can at least make even. If they get more than 20,000, they get profit. But 20,000 is even after having to do all the game day operations stuff.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we'll see how that goes. Not too sure how that works as far as the crowds. I would honestly rather them play in Tiger Stadium. That'd be awesome, man. I'll go. I'm definitely going to one of them games if they come.
Yeah, that's only an hour.
What?
That's 5 minutes down the road for you, an hour for me. So I'd
Right.
be down to go see a game in Tiger Stadium.
Or they could play in Raging Cajun Field.
Well, if they want 20,000, then the only other option is going to be Tiger Stadium. Which I
So
saw today that the high school state championship game, the high school state championship games are looking to move because apparently they said 20,000 is not enough for them. So
they've been wanting to move before even COVID has been started. I've been listening to all kinds of people in the
man, you listen
people.
to 104.5 in Baton Rouge, man. I feel sorry for you.
No, I don't even listen to them. This is something I heard off in New Orleans. Just a lot of people do not want to play in the Superdome. They rather just play somewhere else.
Yeah.
They tired of the dome. They're really tired of the LHSAA because they got to be one of the worst organizations in the country handling their sports.
Yep, you got to blame it on the principals. You can't blame it on the LHSA. But
True.
It is a crapshoot. Can basketball season start already?
Dude, I'm waiting. Adam Silver actually has came out and said the season might start sooner than most people think. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, see, what I don't understand is they wanted to make sure everyone could play in the Olympics in 2021. The Olympics start in August. And if you want to have the season done by then, the latest you can really start is like mid-December, and you're going to be doing a hell of a lot of back-to-backs, which the Players Union most likely is not going to be happy about. So,
well, there's no way you're going to be able to play a full 82 game season. They're going to have to shorten it.
That's his goal. That's his goal to play 82 games.
Wow.
But personally, if they get 65 in, I'm all for it. As long as you don't do the stupid crap they did that one season where you had back-to-back-to-backs. But hey, the Pelicans are young, so I think they can endure it.
I was watching the 3-Man Weave podcast the other day, and they were talking about this, and somebody mentioned it during the show. They said, what if they just played in like quarters of the season? You know what I'm saying? Like maybe I don't know. I'm not too sure how to explain it, but it made a lot of sense. Maybe like separate each part of the season. Maybe do like a bubble for one quarter of the season, do another bubble. I don't know.
Yeah, I've read about that, but Silver's pretty strong on making sure the NBA is going to play in their home arenas. So I don't think you'll see a bubble unless COVID starts getting worse again. But
Right.
personally, I don't. Everything I've read is Adam Silver really wants to have an 82 game season. He wants to have it at their home arenas, and he wants fans in the stands. And personally, I'm all for it.
And we got Dorothy. She hasn't commented in a while on her show, but what's going on, Dorothy? She said, when will the Pelicans hire a coach? Man, I have no clue what's going on.
We were expecting last week, and it just didn't happen. And Tyronn Lue getting hired put a damper on that. I know they interviewed Stan Van Gundy like last Thursday or Friday.
Yep.
So, but obviously there's two other guys in the running, and Chris Finch is still around for, people think he's a favorite for the Pacers job now. Apparently everybody's going away from D'Antoni.
So you got the Pacers, Rockets, and Pelicans. Those are the only 3 teams that have head coaching vacancies?
Yeah, and you won't see the Rockets hire anyone probably within the next few weeks just because they fired their coach. I don't think they'll hire Van Gundy. I don't think they'll hire any of the guys the Pelicans are looking at.
I think they're really sold on Jeff Van Gundy, the Rockets.
Well, Jeff Van Gundy lives in Houston, so.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're gonna let him have full control too, but since the GM stepped down,
Yeah, I mean, They can have Jeff Van Gundy for all I care. I don't like
I
Jeff
don't
Van
know.
Gundy.
It's either Stan Van Gundy or Jamal Mosley for me. Either one of them two, and I'll be happy.
Yeah, I didn't do my research on Jamal Mosley. You know, yeah, I figured he's probably a G League guy.
He coached a little bit in the G League. He's been under Rick Carlisle for most of his coaching career. He's a good guy. He's a great player developmental coach. He likes to go one on one with players, and he likes to develop good relationships. He's actually a guy that would be great with this young team and help develop Zion, Ingram, and Lonzo. So he would. You seen how good Luka's doing. A lot of people put that with Mosley. They say Mosley's a big reason why Luka is doing so well. So I'm all game for Mosley, but I wouldn't mind Stan Van Gundy. Everybody says, well, he's been fired 3 times, but I mean, you got to look at his record, and you can't not say that's not impressive.
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
he got screwed in Orlando by, like what we talked about earlier.
Well,
Small markets can't keep guys. I mean, he got screwed in Orlando because Dwight Howard is left, so he got screwed in Orlando.
Exactly. It's Orlando. Who wants to fucking play basketball in Orlando?
Nobody. And then, I mean, in Detroit, the front office didn't do nothing for him. He got caught in an Alvin Gentry situation where the front office does absolutely nothing for him. And so, I mean, obviously he had Blake Griffin and Andre Drummond when Andre Drummond was half decent, but at the same time, if those are only 2 pieces, they can't do much. One can't dribble, one can barely dribble, and neither of them can shoot 3-pointers. So.
And I want to ask you one question. What's your thoughts on Miles Turner? And potentially trading Drew Holiday for him.
He's an electric guy. I do like Miles Turner. Good on defense. I'm finicky because, it is what we've seen of Zion actually what Zion is. Is Zion going to sit there and be a low post guy and just dominate people in the post, or is he going to be a guy that starts hanging around the 3-point line and penetrates? That's kind of my thing when it comes to all of that. So if Zion turns into the guy who penetrates, I wouldn't mind a Miles Turner. But, if we get a 1 to 2 year rental out of Miles Turner on a reasonable deal, I wouldn't mind it. But at the same time, if you get Derek Favors on a reasonable deal, I wouldn't mind that either.
I don't know. I mean, I absolutely, it's a no-go for me on Miles Turner. The dude's soft, in my opinion. I don't know why everybody's so enamored with the stretch 5 and his shot blocking ability. Just because you can block shots doesn't make you a good defensive player. You know what I'm saying? You go look at his highlights versus guys in his position, Andre Drummond, Kevin Love, guys like that. Absolutely destroyed him. He can't play defense. He's soft. He's not bad offensively. He can score and stuff, but he's not consistent. You know what I'm saying? So to pay $18 to $20 million for a guy that's going to be subpar, no, thank you. I'd rather stick with Jackson Hayes or Derek Favors and get you a guy like if you want to stretch 5, get a stretch 5 off the bench. Rotate your big man. You don't need to go out and get you a high-profile, big-contract guy. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. If you do get a high-profile guy, I think you got to put him at the 2. Because Zion's going to hold it down. If you can just look at what the Lakers just did. No, that's a bad comparison. The Clippers. I know the Clippers didn't make the playoffs, but, they didn't make the finals or anything, but who they had down low? Nobody.
Honestly, well, let's answer this question real quick. Dorothy asks, will Zion or Ingram have input on the hire?
I doubt it. No.
No. They're not too far in the organization for that. Now, their play styles might affect who they hire and their personalities, but they have about 0 input so far in their career on who the Pelicans should hire.
This is going to be fully on David Griffin's image of the organization. It's not going to be based off of who says who. I mean, if anyone's going to have a voice, it's going to be JJ Redick, weirdly enough. But it's not going to be Zion. It's not going to be Ingram. Unless, it's just someone who them two absolutely hate. They might voice their opinions on it, and they absolutely hate them, and, that might change a little bit, but they're not going to sit there in a meeting with David Griffin and Stan Van Gundy and go, you're the one, or anything like that.
Right, and I certainly agree with that. And, and you're talking about how the Pelicans, you're trying to compare them to the Clippers. Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think Ingram's going to have to play at the 2. This is where the Nuggets come into play. If you're going to trade Drew Holiday, get a guy like Michael Porter Jr. Then that way you could put Ingram at the 2, you got Michael Porter at the 3, and you got Zion at the 4. That would be one hell of a trio, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, there's people who, obviously Michael Porter Jr. is a little unproven, but I think just because of his role in the Nuggets, just kind of made it that way. I've been reading rumors about Ball coming to the Pelicans. Them sending those two over for Drew Holiday. Personally, I think Drew Holiday would be a great player on the Nuggets. I personally really think that. But I wouldn't mind seeing Ball. But at the same time, I think Michael Porter Jr. has a high ceiling. Obviously, he was hurt at first, but I think he has a really good. Whatever, but I forgot the word there. But
nice.
I like the word. I like Michael Porter Jr. I think if we're gonna go young, let's go young. If he works out, he works out. If not, he was a cheap contract. But also, I don't know if you saw what Windhurst dropped today, but it was that the Nuggets are trying to trade Caris LeVert and Jared Allen for Drew.
You mean the Nets? Yeah.
Yeah, the Nets.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to that trade. I like Caris LeVert a lot. Before it was Jared Allen and Spencer Dinwiddie, which I would absolutely say no to. But Caris LeVert and Jared Allen, that's a maybe. I think it's a fair offer. But, do I accept it? Does it really make us better? I'm not too sure. I think Caris LeVert is a nice talent, but I think what you see out of him is what you're going to get from now on. I think he's going to be a guy that's going to be, he's going to be a starter for the rest of his career, but he's never going to be a star. I think he's just going to be in between from a role player and good. Jared Allen, I mean, we kind of have that already on the team in Jackson Hayes, and I think Jackson Hayes is going to be better just because Jackson Hayes is a little bit more athletic, in my opinion. He's a lot more of a better potential to be a much better playmaker than Jared Allen.
Yeah, I think if we're going to do any kind of trade, make any kind of big free agency splash or anything, you got to get people to commit to what Griffin's trying to do here. We may not be in the running for a championship this year, but our plan is to be in runs for championships for the next 5 years.
I agree. And I think that's why this Drew Holiday trade is so important, because a lot of people are ready to settle the trade for Drew for just, okay guys. If you're going to trade Drew, you got to go big or go home. It's not worth trading him for Caris LeVert and Jared Allen. You know what I'm saying? For guys that's going to pretty much their max potential is right there. It's right there in front of you. If you're going to trade Drew, get guys like Michael Porter and Bobo. Guys that, people have been excited about. People that say they have star potential. You see Michael Porter show some flashes in the bubbles. You see Bobo at the beginning of the bubble showing some flashes. I'd rather them two than I would rather Caris LeVert and Jared Allen.
Yeah. I mean, it's a sad reality that small market teams, that's the way you have to build, is by getting young talent and, hoping that your development coaches go out and make them the best players possible. because you're not going to get the big free agents. I mean, when we talk about big free agents coming to the Pelicans and actually like free agent signings, not trades, I mean, who's the biggest we've had in the past
JJ Redick.
10 years? I mean, it's been JJ Redick. I mean,
Which is
obviously
sad.
we traded for Boogie, we traded for Mirotic, but you're not going to build that way. Now, obviously, you can have the culture like the San Antonio Spurs, where they were able to get LaMarcus Aldridge purely based off their culture. But I mean,
I would say besides JJ Redick, Ryan Anderson was probably the best guy we got. It was a signing trade, but technically he was a free agent signing. But he's probably the last good free agent signing we have had in the past decade or so, I would say.
And like I said, you gotta have the culture. I mean, look at what the Thunder did for a while. They were able to get good players to come there just because of the culture. I mean, obviously they ran off after they figured out what Russell Westbrook was like, but they have the winning culture. Oklahoma City has no glitz and glamour people, none. I do not. I don't see why people would want to live in the middle of Oklahoma. There's tornadoes and everything. At least if you're in Louisiana, you can run from a hurricane, but you can't run from a tornado. I'm sorry, but but like I said, you have to do the grassroots kind of thing in the small markets. I mean, it's kind of the same in NFL and MLB, but man, I said MLB, and I told you where my mind is. NBA. So, but yeah, I do think going younger and getting good potential is the way to go. If Michael Porter Jr. works out, hey, look, you got a big three right there.
Dude.
And that's not even having to go out and get Bradley Beal. Everybody wants Bradley Beal. You don't have to go out and get Bradley Beal. If Michael Porter Jr., if he has a Brandon Ingram type of season where he gets most improved overwhelmingly, I mean, who says no?
Right.
Who thinks that's a bad trade? I don't think trading for Michael Porter Jr. and Ball is the end of the world.
I tell you what, if the Nuggets were to offer that, Michael Porter Jr. and Bol, I would even throw in the first round pick we got, Andrew Holiday. That's how much I would really want them to on this team.
I mean, if they were to do that, they had to throw in someone like Gary Harris to make numbers match.
Right. That's true.
I mean, but I don't think, obviously Gary Harris isn't the best. He's solid, but I don't think
he's a good role player.
I don't think that's enough to deny the trade.
Right.
Because you're looking at it, you're getting two potential, borderline stars for a guy who's on the back end of his prime.
Right. Drew Holiday, it's known that he doesn't fit the time frame, obviously, of this team. But the thing is, you don't want to trade him, just for guys that don't have the potential to be stars. You know what I'm saying?
You don't want to do a boogie trade.
Because we have been highly critical on Drew Holiday, but the thing is, he's a fringe star. You know what I'm saying? He's a fringe star. He's barely on that level. So we got to get some star potential back, So that's just my opinion. He's just too valuable. He's too valuable to trade and not get guys like that back because he could be a missing piece for a team like the Nuggets to really set him over the edge. You know what I'm saying? Because if you go pair Drew Holiday with Jamal Murray, all Drew Holiday has to fucking worry about is playing defense, and that I guarantee you that would help his play a whole lot better. He could go somewhere where he could just focus on what he does best, which is defense, and he doesn't have to worry about scoring on the other side as well. I think that would make him a hell of a lot better player than he is now with the Pelicans. Because of the Pelicans, he's got to worry about scoring on some nights. He's got to worry about playing 1 through 5, which is sad. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, and if we would, you used to talk about, trading Holiday for Tyler Hero, man. If we would have made that deal.
Dude,
the way Tyler Hero played in the playoffs is just insane. I mean,
we would have to throw in that first round pick to get
you
Tyler.
have to, right? Yeah, I mean, finding young potential, watching some tapes, seeing who the young potential could be is probably the way to go when you're the Pelicans. I mean, because if you go out and trade Drew and a first for some big name, who knows if they're going to commit to the plan.
Right, and then I think we're supposed to do a show about this, and we will. We'll do a Pelican special. Me and you will talk about it. We'll do step by step season prediction. Hopefully, by the time we do this, we'll hire a coach. You know what I'm saying? It'll make this a whole lot easier. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
there's one big, because obviously you go with Stan Van Gundy, you're going to play one way, and then if you go with Jason Kidd, you go another. So it's going to be interesting.
Well, I've
I
heard
hope we get a defensive-minded coach. That's my only hope.
Jason Kidd's out of the running. I don't. That's what I heard. I don't think he's in it anymore, which is good. I think it's good.
Praise God.
I think he's a good assistant coach. I don't think he should be ever be a head coach again. He might be able to get one more shot and that's it.
Yeah, that social experiment went wrong.
Yeah.
But I saw something. What was it? Yesterday. Yeah, I was. They had the way too early NBA rankings out,
Right.
and they had the Pelicans sitting at 17th. I was like, I feel like that's
Damn.
disrespectful. Because I mean, even with this current roster, I mean, if Zion's healthy, there's nobody in. Rudy Gobert can't even stop Zion. So, I personally think this roster, once you get a good coach in, they have the potential to go 47 wins, 47-35, something like that. I don't think they're the 17th best team in the league. I think they're more in that 10 to 12.
Yeah, I honestly think there's no reason why we shouldn't make the playoffs. I think it was the same way before this season started, but obviously you had the injuries with Zion early on that really hampered it, and you also had injuries at the beginning of the season. But there's no reason why we shouldn't make the playoffs. So it all falls on David Griffin and what he's gonna do with this team, what pieces he's gonna surround Zion and Ingram. What's he gonna do with Lonzo? What coach? It's all kinds of things. If we don't make the playoffs this upcoming year, then David Griffin's not doing his job correctly, in my opinion. And I know that, it's hard, but the thing is, like, you just got too much talent not to make the playoffs.
Yep. I mean, me and
So
you both thought Gentry was going to get a free pass just because of the injuries. So obviously, Griffin not giving him a free pass, well, obviously some of that had to do with our bubble play. But, I mean, Griffin not giving Gentry a free pass, I think it shows how much he wants to win now.
this is a good question because the West is so competitive. Who do you think would fall out for us to make it? Because the Warriors going to make the playoffs since they're healthy.
It's going to be a crapshoot. That's what it's going to be. You won't see Memphis. I don't think you'll see Memphis.
Well, they weren't even in the playoffs.
No, I mean, but they made the play-in game, didn't they?
Yeah.
I mean, you aren't going to see. Man, that's a tough one.
Exactly.
You could potentially see the Rockets drop out. I wouldn't doubt that. It's gonna be tough, because like you said, the Warriors going to come back bigger and better than ever. I know there's
the only
rumors
team
and that the Clippers could be mixing things up.
The only team I can think of is the Blazers, but then you got the Warriors. She says the Rockets. Yeah, maybe it just depends if they're gonna go full on rebuild or not. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, because I mean, they're honestly at a point where they're not going to make the finals.
right.
They don't have a big man on the roster, so it wouldn't exactly hurt them to go rebuild. The Mavericks, I mean, it could come down to, again, where it was like this season, where we all thought the Warriors were going to, it was going to be the Warriors versus Lakers versus Clippers in the top. And, people get hurt. So
Oh yeah.
it's unpredictable.
The Thunder will
Thunder.
probably miss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
Good
you.
one. It's
I was-
crazy because they were
I
the
was trying
third
to
seed.
think.
They
I
were the
was
third seed
I
this
was
year.
really trying to think about who could drop out. I'd say we just trade New Orleans for Chicago for East and West so we can make the playoffs every year.
I wish.
But them days when we used to be in the Eastern Conference were nice.
Fun fact here: I didn't even know when we were the Hornets. I didn't even know we were in the Eastern Conference.
for the first couple years until Charlotte came back.
Yeah.
But Thunder could drop out.
Blazers and Thunder. Those are probably the two best candidates to drop out.
Yeah, because I'm reading stuff that Carmelo Anthony won't re-sign with the Blazers, which I find stupid.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
Utah's another team that I think the Pelicans could be better than.
Right.
Because really, I mean, all they got is Mitchell and Gobert. They play good team basketball, but eventually, I mean, the West is starting to get where star power is just going to roll it. Whoever has the most stars is going to take it. And meanwhile, you got the East where, once you knock out Giannis, what do you got?
It's ridiculous. That's what it is.
Well, where's all the big markets?
Yep. Well, I think that's going to just about do it for today. Tonight, we started off the show talking about the Saints. We got blew it off by Michael Balko. Thanks, buddy, for blowing us off. But
yeah, you're on here on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, hey, look, if you're going to put something out like that, you got to come out and explain yourself. We give you an opportunity to explain yourself. You don't want to. I don't think you should do a show. You don't want to come on our show. Look, I know we're not the biggest and best, but hey, we could have shared this to all our Saints fans, and there's groups out there with 30,000 people. So
I certainly
if
agree.
you don't want to explain yourself, go ahead. I'll be sure to watch the shows you're on later this week.
Yep. It is what it is. It's whatever. But I think that's going to do it for Off the Dome Sports. Thanks for watching. Thank you, Dorothy. Thank you, BM Furlow. Thank you, Ryan, for coming on, like always. I think next show we'll probably do a Pelican special. I think we should do it after they hire a coach, though. What do you think?
Yeah, maybe we do. Maybe we do a breaking news special when they hire a coach. Hopefully neither of us are at work.
Yeah, well, let's do that then. And then we got LSU this Saturday as well. They're playing South Carolina.
Not an easy game.
No, it's not going to be. And Miles Brennan probably won't play. Also, what's up with your Raging Cajuns, man? They lost by a field goal.
You know how many passes we dropped?
I didn't watch the game.
Right in between the numbers? It was ridiculous. We dropped like 6 or 7 passes that could easily switch the game.
Well, does this mean are they still the best team in Louisiana? Because after that, I don't know.
They still have the most votes in the AP poll.
Yeah. Is Coastal Carolina ranked now? Are they going to be ranked?
Yeah,
they're ranked. Wow, that's crazy.
I mean, they're 4-0, so you gotta give props to them, and they're a new program, so you gotta give major props to Coastal Carolina. They've done good things over there.
Well, the Fun Belt, they're not nothing to play with. They got something brewing there. You got App State, UL, Coastal Carolina. Who else has been brewing up in the Fun Belt?
I mean, them Georgia schools that run the option, they're pretty good. Arkansas State beat Kansas State, so you got that. The Battle of Kansas. So, but Fun Belt's been fun so far. It's going to be interesting to see. I know we got UAB this week on Friday, and they're doing a huge tribute to Coach DJ Looney because he was from Birmingham, so they're doing a huge tribute to him. They're going to do a little quote-unquote memorial for him, a pretty nice gesture of UAB. So
It is. Mm-hmm.
we'll be. It's on CBS Sports Network, which sucks because like nobody in America has CBS Sports Network unless you pay way too much for cable. So
Right. Well, hopefully the Raging Cajuns win. Hopefully LSU wins. Hopefully the Saints win. And that would do it. We'll see y'all guys later. Thanks for joining us. Who dat?
who dat?